and just see if that worked. Nothing.
Comments up. I can't even get online here.
I don't think that worked. Try again. Oh, here we go. I think we're live.
Okay.
Are we? No, we're not. Yeah, we're coming live now. Yeah. It's spinning wheel. No comments though. Let us know in the chat, guys, if we are live.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in the chat now.
I ain't got any chat yet. Why have I no chat? I've got no chat. What the fuck? That's weird. I've no chat. Are we live? Can you see a chat, mate?
Of course, whenever I try and get on the internet right now, everything's tripping. Okay, let me check. Give me 1 second.
I'm going to shut it down and start again. Just a second.
You might have to. Let me get on here. If it's not.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, we're live. I got a chat.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so we just did a bunch of dumb stuff for the first minute. Great.
I don't know how long we were live there, guys, but we didn't think we were live. As usual, it'd be a shame if we did, but we really didn't. I didn't have a chat then at all. Usually the chat's up early, isn't it? Like people, you can see people before you even get on. Quite strange. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Fix, show 187. 187. 187 shows. And just for the ladies, Paul Lynn's in a vest. Eh? Get that. Eh? Tell you what, mate.
Sun's out, guns out, baby. We finally had some good weather, man. I'm trying to work on my tan.
Hey.
We were down in Florida for that East versus West. So, Neil, I went.
We've been to Florida.
Yeah. That last weekend I was down there, and so normally when we're going to do these tournaments and stuff, I got no downtime. And Michelle Dugan and I, we were down there like a day early. We got set up. Everything was cool. She's like, let's go to the beach. So a couple of us went to the beach, Colin Schroeder, Jeff Luke. And I'm like, all right, we got to get sunblock because this is like my first, I'm fairly fair skinned.
Not being out for a year.
I'm good. So I'm like, they're like, they get SPF 50. I'm like, I ain't putting SPF 50 on. I need like 15 or 30. So I get this lotion rather than the spray on. Mm-hmm. And I'm putting it on. I'm like, the lotion, look, Neil, the lotion must have been like 10 years old. And I'm out in this Florida sun, 90 degrees. And she's like, yo, you're burning. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I have SPF 30 on. There's zero chance. So I go another hour. I'm like, yeah, I'm burning.
Do you normally burn? Do you get burned easy?
No, not only the first time of the year. Like I can, like, I don't need SPF like once we get a couple suns in. But the first one, boy, it like ruined the tournament for me. I was like trying to after pull. My back is sore. My shoulders are sore.
Yeah, it was bad. Tell you a quick story, right? Me and my dad went to Vegas. Now you got to remember, I don't know what it's like in Pennsylvania most of the time, but in where we live here, I mean, it's desolate, mate. There's like only 3 people live here, and 2 of them are werewolves. I mean, it is grim. You know what I mean? So we don't get that much sun. We get a lot of rain. You want to grow a beanstalk or something, this would be a good spot. But other than that, sun, not the thing. And obviously, I'm not made for sun. I'm part man, part seal. So you know what I mean, top's not coming off a lot. So we go to Vegas, right? And actually, at this time, I was in pretty good shape. I was about 85 kilos, something like that. And we go over to Vegas with my dad. We're going to watch the UFC. Yeah. I had a really cool gig there. I was hosting the Miss Octagon Church, believe it or not.
Okay.
Which was refereed by my mate Michael Bisping and Rashad Evans.
Oh yeah. Big Michael.
Nice stuff. But it's nice work if you can get it. But a lot of time round the pool at the hotel there, Mandalay Bay it was at.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in between the events and stuff. We're going down to the like the fake beach there. Mm-hmm. You ever been to Mandalay Bay? They got like a wave, you know.
I have.
I'm there, and mate, I got, I don't know what it was, but it was like cheap Hawaiian Tropic or something like that, and it was crap, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and I had no idea what factory it was. I just put it on, and it turned out it was like chip pan fat, like tanning oil, rather than
You put the accelerant on. That's
dude.
what my wife uses. I
Oh,
always got to be
mate,
careful. It's
I put it
amplifier.
on. Me and my dad, right, put it on. Holy, what can I tell you? After about 3 hours in the blazing Vegas sunshine, I did damage, serious
Yeah.
damage to myself.
Yep.
Move the rest of the week, so I was in a
Hmm.
bad way.
That'll ruin. People don't, it's people who haven't experienced extreme sunburn, no idea, man, to the point of sickness. I've
Oh,
had it.
top of your feet, the top of your feet is terrible. I had like the old flip flops used to have like what do you call them when they go between your toes?
Songs that yeah,
Yeah,
flip the normal flip, yeah.
mate, the old diagonal covers on the top, and that mate, they were like there was like unbelievable red, and then the shape of the flip flop. Oh,
With the top of your feet get it the worst too. That's one of the spots you forget to put the block on.
it's in so much pain. They have we were walking around that night. We went to we had a few melon coladas, like a frigging big long drink, like a big long
Yeah.
alcoholic shot drink. And anyway, I crash a few of these, and we go over to meet a mate of mine at the Luxor, and the
Mhm.
Luxor is on a pyramid. So when the
Mhm.
elevator, they call it inclinators, and the frigging it goes up like this. So I get
Yeah.
in there, me and the old man lit, get in there, stand there. A couple of lasses walk in, and we're like, and I show off a little bit. Anyway, this inclinator sets off, and we're lit. I go down like a sack of shit, like just fucking lost my butt and went flat on my ass on the floor. And the whole lift's like I'm there on my back, mate. Terrible week, absolutely terrible. Frigging burn my ass, burn my back.
Yeah.
Terrible, mate. Never gonna
Yeah.
do that again. So I sympathise with you, Paul.
I'm good now. I'm good now. Got the
Better not
base
stop
game.
your training up though, because you're only what are we now? We're like 4 weeks away.
Yep, got a couple more hard practices and hard weeks of training, and we'll taper down.
Where's the confidence at?
I feel good. One thing I'm having a hard time putting the weight on, surprisingly. Like when I'm cutting weight, I always feel like it's easy to gain. But now trying to gain it to 105, I haven't made the progress that I hoped. But the flip side to that is, I'm bigger than I normally am, and the gym lifts are good. You know, I've got myself a little wrapped around the idea of being exactly 105. But my body doesn't really like being there, and it's like telling me that now. I've upped my caloric intake and everything. I've added like 1,000 calorie shake every morning,
Yeah.
but I'm staying lean. So I thought my metabolism was worse than it is. I guess it's okay. So,
When you
but
say
I
your
feel
gym
good.
lifts have gone up, what kind of difference do you notice, mate? How much benefit do you get?
I
When
mean, I usually track a couple things. Like I like to track shoulder press. I like to track like reps on the flat bench off the block and everything. Just my
yeah.
staple core lifts. And I'm hitting PRs. Like I'm a couple reps up on the weights I'm doing. I did 315 on the flat bench for 22, which is a PR for me. So
Mm.
I'm feeling good and I'm feeling healthy. So that to me, like regardless of if I could push that weight up another 5 pounds or not, I would trade feeling healthy for being bigger any day.
All day, yeah.
Yeah,
How's
my
the
elbows
how's the wrist and hand feeling?
good, good, good. I've been training my wrist slightly differently.
Hmm.
And then in the past with some braced wrist flexion with a thin diameter wrist wrench, I actually got a table that I still have to put together that I'll finish these last 2 weeks on. Gentleman that was at East versus West the last time, he goes by Pull Heavy on Instagram. He made a
Okay.
couple tables, one from Michael. If you've seen that green wrist flexion table Michael's been
Okay.
using,
Yeah.
he made one from Artem Morozov. He's from Kazakhstan. So Storm and I just had those shipped in, and I got it in pieces right now. And we'll put it together hopefully tomorrow.
What is it like an old Mazurenko table, just rock solid?
Yeah, yes, rock solid, like single pulley, plate loaded, and
Mm.
it's just braced wrist flexion where everything is braced and you're just straight up wrist flexion. So I've done so many years of doing like multi spinner and wrist wrench from this angle, and not as much true straight wrist flexion, just 100%. I've like double dipped with finger contained, I'm not, I don't even do a ton. Like I know you've talked in the past about doing like the barbell wrist flexion, dumbbell wrist flexion. I that's a secondary movement. So I've started using this as a primary movement on my hand and wrist days. So I'm hoping it pays dividends. I feel really good practice. Everything's been feeling really good. My prep's been good. Switched a few things up in that aspect, just for some more dynamic stuff. I've been ever since Sasha, I've been treating my practices more like training, and I think it's helped quite a bit.
Do you feel like you're going to be the bully in this one, mate? Or do you feel because I know you are what you look like to some extent. You're extremely powerful, and you like the match to. Obviously, you showed that with Sasha, didn't you? Let's be honest. I mean, I think you shocked everybody. The old, tell me something I can't do thing. But when you drive through somebody with that much top end, I feel like that's a pretty good barometer of what you're going to face here, unless Lachlan's improved dramatically. Because when you look at the training sessions between Krasimir and Sasha, it is a war.
Yeah, it's close. They've been close for quite some time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Lachlan's different. I don't anticipate him meeting me in the center. Maybe he will. A lot of people thinks he will, but when you really break down his style, even when he's hooking, it's heavy back pressure. Elbow goes backwards before it goes sideways.
Yeah.
So, and I do think Lachlan has tremendous back pressure. I think he has it from a posted position, but even more from a slightly supinated position. So I think a lot of that match is going to come down to like who wins center, who wins setup to be able to get an initiation. The our bully match is a good one to look at, and the Krasimir match. And for the most part, Lachlan with Krasi the match got stopped more in the center. But with Araboli, he won center his way an inch or two every time, which I think led to an easier path. So I mean, I think that those initial setups, the depth and height, and all those different things, I think they're going to play a big factor in who can get off first and who controls center, and if it stays in the middle.
Yeah, because Lachlan's one of those guys who I want to say is being as diligent as it gets. Really, he came into the game and he was just big and powerful, and he took a lot of lumps. He didn't necessarily arm wrestle as dexterously. He was quite bullish. I think he's done a great job in improving himself.
Oh my goodness, this guy is like I said it to him. Like I said, it's I both love and hate the fact that I think you're one of the like our similarities in training and approach. I both love and hate it. But this is a scenario where if I'm not on my game, this guy could outwork me. He's one of the few people that could do it. But I mean, I think he's kind of held me accountable. He posts stuff all the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that keeps me going. Not that I have a problem with that, but it also pushes my intensity up as far as the training and prep. So I think a lot of the match is going to come down to the unknown of how can I fare at a heavier weight? What does that do to my cardio or my endurance or my speed or whatever? And then what does Lachlan walking around at 105 do to his power, and his just overall strength? I mean, these things have to come into play, and I don't think either of us know completely right now. We know he weighed 105 against Araboli and he looked really good. So he's a diligent type dude. I doubt that he's going to lose much. But the question is, can he be the guy that, like, similar to Rackley, where he comes down from 105 and doesn't skip a beat at all, So I think, and then I think the fact that we're meeting in that middle there, that's a real unknown to me.
You ever gripped up with him before at all, mate? Have you like messed around on the practice table?
No, we were at East versus West once together, and I was like, I was preparing for something else, and I asked, like, hey, can if you get a moment afterwards, I'd like to group up with you and be preparing my hook. I would love to have somebody to red line pull through me. And unfortunately, how those after pulls are. by the time I got on, he was already fried. He grabbed Sanders and he was, you know what I mean? He's fried before I even got to work my way in. So no, we've never even, I don't even think we've ever really grabbed each other's hand.
What about common opponents, mate? Have you sort of researched that a great deal? Other than the obvious one, Ryan, who you've pulled a bit with Ryan, haven't you?
Yeah, but that's so many years ago.
Yeah.
It's null and void, in my opinion. Ryan's a whole different animal now.
Yeah, Ryan's doing great. He's working very hard.
Yeah, and I mean, common opponents, we got, Hutchings, and he hasn't been an opponent, but a training partner.
Yeah.
And Irakli. And I don't think there's a whole lot that can be gleaned from Irakli. There's a little bit more to be gleaned from Hutchings.
No, Rackley's a real handful at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. And the Hutchings match is quite a bit of time ago too, with a larger Lachlan. So again, it's very like I hate doing the arm wrestling math too much. I'd rather look at the details of the setup and the lanes that are being taken and the sticking points. But I don't. Yeah, it's a tricky one for sure because
You're so
again,
diligent in terms of wrapping your head around matches, mate. Whenever, I mean, for people who don't know, and the camera doesn't necessarily always pick it up, when we are at East versus West, you are so engaged in every match. You actually worry me because on occasion you're actually arm wrestling that day, and you're still unbelievably engaged in the matches, like every match. You know what I mean? And that's why it's great to watch and it's great to see, but it's quite concerning sometimes because you think, oh shit, he's going to burn himself. Because you don't just watch, you watch and you're in it, you're in the match. Do you feel like
it's good for my energy though? Like it's good for my energy. I've caught myself doing some dumb stuff. I forget what match it was in preparation for, and I was watching something. Maybe it was, I don't know. I forget what match it was, but I have my matches like three matches later, and I get excited and I'm pounding on the stage, palm of my right hand like an idiot, and it's hurting. And I'm like, whoa! I caught myself after like 5 slaps, like, oh, you dummy, you better. But it's for me that mind state and that energy is, I think, a positive thing. And if I surround myself with that and feed off of the other matches, sometimes I feel better in the 15-minute lead up than when it's real calm and I'm relaxed and I got to get myself into that place. But if I've already been in that place for a couple hours here, enjoying the fight atmosphere, it's easy to get right into it. It's almost like the prep starts early.
Have you been? I don't expect you to talk about specifically what, mate, obviously, but have you changed the way your approach to matches is for this specifically? Have you broken him down, or are you going to do stuff specifically based upon where you see a weakness in Lockie?
Well, it's less about attacking a weakness per se, and more about shoring up the areas that I'm worried about. So I've changed, like every match that I have, like I follow my same shell of preparation. It's 5-day split, and sometimes 2 workouts a day, depending on how I can structure my day.
Yep.
But my focal points shift with each opponent, which is interesting because depending on, like, when I stack up a bunch of hook pullers and have to be in a hook, it's weird because certain areas become deficient, because of a focus of like 3 similar opponents. So I've changed some things up for this for sure. And then also some subtle things in my table time training. And again, about 3-4 matches ago is when I shifted towards no longer just going to practice just to let people beat on you and see how strong you are, but more about like, all right, I'm going to do X amount of sets and, X amount of time or reps at these different things.
Very structured.
Yeah, I think you have to be. And I think a lot of times that's what we're missing in the States. Like we go to practice, we have a good time, we hang out, it's fellowship, we get to beat on each other a little bit. But, in the reality of it is if you're preparing for a fight, that is your sparring session. You should be working on the things that you're going to do or you're going to be faced with. And you should be doing them in a structured, organized fashion, in my opinion. But it does take a lot of the fun out of it. But it is what it is. It's a necessary.
So who's your nearest crew then there? Who are you working with?
I have my Harrisburg team. Like I have a team right in Harrisburg, Justin Bear and the rest of my guys. We got we got some international guys that are living local and stuff. And then my every other week is Dave Morocco, Kenny Smith, and Goga from Georgia in Maryland. So Maryland, the Maryland team they've got some bigger guys, a little bit more horsepower. Hutchings goes quite often along with other people, depending on Dave does some big practices. And even his regular Thursdays, I mean, there's some good heavy hitters. So I usually go there for more, all right, let's redline the arm. Let's max it out.
You got a real test, yeah.
And then structure it, with my guys locally. And sometimes I'll train, an off day in the middle of the week with one or two guys where it's 100% drilling and static holds.
How far are you from like RVJ?
Oh, that's a hike. That's like 6.5, 7 hours.
Holy. Yeah, okay, forget that.
We've talked about getting together quite a bit, and I think both of us are definitely keen to doing it. We've been to tournaments together and everything, but like we had like to structure a practice, we have to probably meet midway.
Yeah.
We talked about it, but we just kind of got to marry up when schedules work.
Because it's interesting, right? So I'm going to let little Ray's not on the show, but there's a cat coming out of the bag. So I'm going to commit a lot more time to arm wrestling from sort of July.
Nice.
Forward. And I want to try and get out and
Neil, is that your Wi-Fi?
On the Armwrestling channel as well.
You're freezing up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I think Wi-Fi just had a few. You got me again?
Yeah, I got you. It was just
see that's, yeah, I think there we go. Thank God. I throw up. Yeah, we're losing you. Oh, fellas, you saying we're losing you, Neil? Yeah, friggin'.
Okay. I thought it was me. I was like,
so what did I get out there before I lost you? Did anything come there?
You just got to the point where you were saying you're going to commit some more time to arm wrestling.
Yeah. So from July, I'm going to be really focusing a lot more time on arm wrestling. And I want to get out there and meet more people, train with more people, create a massive amount more content. If you're a member of the Arm Wars channel, you're going to get a lot of stuff. Talk about value for money. There's a ridiculous amount of stuff coming from July forward. In fact, not from July forward, from friggin' May forward. We got a lot of stuff coming. A lot of stuff coming. So the intention is to continue trying to do the stem cell thing. The intention is to try and listen. I'm under no illusions that I'm never going to be a good arm wrestler again. Not good, because I'm 50. I'll be 51 years old in not long. I'm old.
Well, I'm right behind you. You listen. Never say never.
I like arm wrestling though, and I want to get back to doing more stuff. I had a lot of messages this week saying, "Why are you retiring? Why are you giving up?" No, I'm not retiring. I just you got to evolve. You got to move forward, and I had a massive clear out, trying doing again because my boys train. They do a lot of stuff, but it isn't strength training. It isn't arm wrestling training. It's nothing like that. So I had to try and dig out some stuff and make some space. And I had an area where I threw away this weekend over 70 international winners trophies.
Why'd you throw them away? Your boys didn't want them?
My boys were like, Dad, don't throw them away. Don't throw them away. Don't. My wife was like, thank God, throw them away.
Yeah, that's the way mine is.
But it comes down to the simple fact. Everything I've never been a trophy guy, really. I've never done it for trophies. I've got the ones that really matter. I got my world championship wins, my European championship wins. They're in a special place. But a lot of these were international winners trophies from all over the world. You're looking back and it's like USA, Ukraine, Russia, Japan, all these places you've been, Latvia, Norway, Sweden, Finland, so many amazing. I mean, Switzerland, I was there very regularly, Belgium very regularly, all over the US. So many events that I've been blessed to attend and meet fantastic people in this game for coming up 40 years. And you're like, all the stuff that I've taken from that, all the stuff that really mattered from that, it's all in here.
Yeah.
It's not in a trophy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm with you.
I mean,
I'm the
John
same way.
wrote something on, commented, John Brzenk, who's always been very close to me throughout a lot of my career, you know, and John just put, you know, that your friends will always remind you of your journey and your stuff. And I thought, yes, mate, exactly. All the stuff that matters. It's funny, I'll try and bring it next week, but I came across a caricature today of myself and John in, like, I don't know, 2005, 2006. We were walking along this bloody boardwalk somewhere. I think we were in LA or something like that. And we got a caricature drawn. This guy just come up and he said, "Oh, do," and he starts drawing the caricature. And I'll try and bring it on and show people next week. But I was clearing this space to try and get an area that I can train again, because I haven't trained for so long. Just the only thing I'd done is like pull-ups now and again, like that, you know, which is, and we're talking once every 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Whenever I get a chance to do them, I'll do them, you know, but not no arm wrestling training, no proper training. But there's a big change coming for me this year, huge change, and I want to really dedicate a lot more time to all that side and get a great deal more content for people who are subscribers. If you're not subscribed, guys, please do subscribe to the channel and subscribe to the mighty White Oak while you're there. But I really want to sort of over deliver in that respect. And I found a shit ton of merch, Paul, like old stuff, classic stuff. And I was going to throw some of this stuff away. And there's a girl that lives close, single parent family, lives very close to me, member of my family. And she was devastated a couple of months ago, devastated, in tears, gutted, sick. And I'm like to her mum, "What's up?" And her mum's like, can't. She was the world junior champion in her sport. As a kid, but world junior champion. And she was devastated. And when I asked her mum, she said, I haven't got the money to pay for her to go abroad again and try to win that thing back, try to defend the title. And at the time, I remember feeling extremely sorry for the kid, thinking, "Oh, that sucks," you know, because it matters. If you're anybody that's into sport, it matters massively. But nothing you can do. It's a lot of money. I think this event was in Canada, and she's got and it's a horse event. So you got to take the horse, and you know it's ridiculous cost. Then I'm going through all this stuff, and I threw away a load of old shirts and loads of stuff, loads of trophies. And then I came across this box. I opened it up, and you remember 2008, the Arm Wars Deepwater. So the match between John Brzenk and Devon Larratt, when we'd been trying to pull that thing together for ages. Devon at that time was a challenger. He'd gone a long time undefeated. And so I'm going through the box, and the athletes on the night or on that weekend, they with their Saturday, Sunday competing. They get A shirt for Saturday, B shirt Sunday, and then they get a C shirt, which is a spare. For when we were on Eurosport at the time. So if you're doing any, say they get chalk all over shirts and stuff like that, they're going to do interviews. You want them in a nice shirt, looks the part. So we got a C shirt there. And it's the actual C shirt for John and Devon. And I got them both. So this is John Brzenk, the black one. And challenger, Devon Larratt, red one. I put a thing out yesterday. The camera's crappy, but can you actually see the little C there? Yeah. So that's the C shirt, Devon. So, and I thought, you know what? I could maybe auction these off. I'm sure, because I'd thought about doing something with them. And then I thought, if I auction these off, maybe I can raise some money for this girl to go and do her thing. You know, she can go over and try. I don't know whether it's even possible to raise enough money for it, but it'd give her a chance, you know, give her a shot. And maybe she can get over there and try to defend her title, which would be nice. So I was thinking about how I do that, Paul. And I wouldn't mind your input on it, because I want this to be, the idea also is that the fans of the sport and the people who support my channel and Arm Wars channel and everything we do all have an opportunity to win these. That's what I would like, you know. So I was trying to make it as inclusive as it can. And initially I thought, what do? Just do like a biggest super chat wins, but that's not really fair, and people could put in a lot of money and not win it. So I thought it was better if we had a situation where for every super chat over $20, which is going to be effectively the cost of sending the shirt, I thought for every super chat over $20, they would be entered. I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to do it next week and the week after. And the reason I'm going to
do it like, all right, one super chat over $20 gets you a ticket.
Yes. And if you want to, if they want to donate more, no problem.
Right.
Problem. But $20. Well,
I think it's good that the money is going to a good cause too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to. It'd be really something if I could get the kid to, if we earned enough so she could go over and do that, or just enough to start the ball rolling so that people support the girl.
Yeah, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for charities and stuff too. So you can sign me up. I'll put my little $25 super chat in there.
Well, you know what, man. Some kids, they say, like, this girl, for example, she's single parent family.
Yeah,
they don't earn a lot of money. Obviously, I'm not talking about anybody's personal circumstances. It's none of my business, and that's their private thing. But I know they don't have a great deal of money, and obviously, for the kid to not be able to defend when she's a world champion at her sport is tragic. If that was me, I'd be devastated.
Yep.
Because
I identify with
this
that.
Kid works.
I was never a world champion, but I know what it's like to not be able to do things that could improve what your goals are because of finance. That was my upbringing. And it's a real thing. You've got great athletes out there who don't have the means. So sometimes average athletes with the means surpass them. So life's not fair. It sucks, especially when she's competing at the highest level. That's the most tragic part.
Yeah, this girl's team England, Team Great Britain in her sport, and she can't go over there, and she's world champion, can't go over and defend. So I want to just try and help. If I can, it will be awesome. And I feel like it was that the shirts had done something worthwhile. The actual idea was, I kept them for me as you look back on it, it was something you did. You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the end of the day, if they managed to get this kid to go and defend her world championship title, that's worth something. I think it's a genuinely good thing. So that's what it's about. And I want it to be accessible for everyone, or accessible for as many people as possible. So probably what we'll do is next week we'll do the John Brzenk shirt. So Perfect Storm John Brzenk shirt. And then the week after, the Devon Larratt shirt. Anything $20 and above super chats, and you just put something like shirt on the super chat, and you'll be entered in there. And I'll probably get the kid herself to pick it. Might even get her on camera.
Yeah, that's what you should do. That's what you should do for sure.
Like
involve her in it too. That'd be awesome.
I'll have to speak to her mum about it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, but that would be the idea. She can pick someone, and they win the shirt. And if it works and it gets her over to Canada, amazing. Or if it just helps her along the way, and I can start the ball rolling. I'm going to speak to a few people, local businesses and stuff, try and get somebody to give her a lift on some of this stuff. That will be the plan. But big stuff coming, mate. Big stuff coming. And
the good news about you committing more time to arm wrestling, that you're actually gonna be hitting practices and training. Do you I don't know if you have if you've really wrapped your mind around how much people really care about tracking the journey. They do. You could almost treat this like a separate vlog, and just hit little parts of your workout, your comeback, like what numbers you're starting at, how it progresses, how your training on the table goes, like how rough it is at the beginning, the pain.
It's going to be terrible.
People love that because there's so many new arm wrestlers right now who are going through it right now and can identify with it. And this is the closest that you're going to get to your starting point that, was 30 years ago or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be very rough to sort of pick up after having, 10 years out of the game.
But everybody wants to see that. Yeah. Everybody wants to
like I say, I'm under no illusions. I'm way too old. And I know, having been a multiple world champion, I know what it takes to to get to that level, and it was non-stop, day in, day out commitment, hours a day. I can't do that anymore. But I kind of don't want to do. I just want to. It's more about getting out and meeting people, getting out and helping people. I met so many people at the last East versus West. There's a lot of guys in the UK that I'd like to get out to some of the clubs in the UK and work with some of those, maybe do some seminars and things like that. So I've got a lot of plans, I've got a lot of ideas, and we'll just see how it works out. But basically, from July, that's going to be the plan. Get out there and do stuff, get more stuff done. So we'll see how that goes. Go super chats here. Let's have a look. So enlarged pronator, just come in with a super chat. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it. It's for you, this Paul. Just put best of luck, Paul. You and Adair are almost my favorite pullers. I'll be cheering for both of you. I'm just hoping for a great match.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if I think it's the same guy. Enlarged pronator. He's on Instagram. He's making some nice little like promo montages. They're like really well edited. He's just getting his following going. So if you haven't checked him out, check him out on Instagram. And I'm getting that a lot, man. Like that, like Lachlan and I are like from like the people who follow me. I think there's a common denominator between Lachlan and I and kind of how we approach things. There's some similarities. So I've gotten that comment quite a bit, and I am in complete agreement. I just want it to be a good match and entertaining. I can live with a loss. I'm not afraid to lose. I'll do as much and everything that I can to win, but I'll be happy if we put on a good show and go at it. That's good enough.
Yeah, and I'll be very surprised if it isn't a good match. If I'm honest, I just think you guys. I think it won't be far away in power. I think you're both extremely powerful. I think you're both brave and both diligent. Lachlan's shown that. You've shown that. You'll try different things, and I'm struggling to find any reason why. It is a 6-rounder, this, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, I think they all are king of the table.
So 6-rounder, I can't see it being anything other than a cracker, mate. I really can't, and fingers crossed on that. So we got Kriga from Swedish Arm Wrestling Television. If you're not subbed to Kriga, get over there and sub to this dude. I was helping Fia's dad fixing old newspaper articles for his clipbook. And I found you in an article from Euroarm 2007. Took me by surprise. Nine. I knocked it on the head. So yeah, Sweden's ace. I've had so much fun in Sweden. Oh, fantastic people. Fantastic arm wrestling country. Fantastic people. Beautiful country as well. Really incredible place. So yeah, some of my best memories from that place, honestly, right back in the day with Magnus Samuelsson and Andreas Rundstrom and guys like that, right through to the modern era. Obviously, the Swedish girls are all absolute slayers. I got my hardcore arm wars guys like the Steel Giraffe, Nanastad, Ambush. What a dude! But yeah, beautiful place. That somewhere you've ever been, mate? Sweden? Have you been over there?
No. I got a bunch of invites to some different European countries to do some arm wrestling stuff. Hopefully in the future, things slow down and we can make them happen. I mean, I've had a bunch of invites and I'm super grateful for it. I just got to make it happen. I can't wait.
Which country will be your sort of optimum? Where would you want to go most, mate?
Man, I want to go to Georgia.
I do. I'm gonna, mate. I'm going. We're going to Tbilisi. I'm gonna for the Arm Wars fans, the members. I'm gonna take a camera. I'm gonna get James with me. We're gonna go over there to Tbilisi, and we're gonna go and rope some monsters.
Well, you let me know when you're going. Michael Todd and I have talked about making a trip for quite some time. We got the invite, maybe a year ago. And it's just about spinning it up when it can make sense. But I mean, if I go, I want to do the whole thing. I want to see the country and I want to go to as many arm wrestling practices, learn as much as I can.
What a club that is, eh?
Oh my goodness, man. And I love those guys. I love the culture. They're probably the group of people that I identify with and click the most with outside of the Americans, obviously. So and super welcoming, nice people. I can't help but get behind them. So if if Zurab or Samusha is pulling another European, I'm gonna be front and center.
Mate, that East versus West, this last one. What about the atmosphere in there? Holy
Dude,
shit!
I'm just getting my voice back now. From I lost it mid Samusha match. It happens to me every year in football. It's usually like right around like the second week of camp. I get yelling too much and it goes. Like mid yell, pop, it's gone. And that's what I got that. Had this Samusha match and I was whispering the rest of the weekend and it carried for almost 2 weeks. This is the longest I've ever lost. So yeah, that match right there
Oh,
was a nice pinnacle for me in that event. I loved it. I loved every minute of
it was. I mean, it was the standout match. There's a couple of bangers there. It was nice to see new guys that I think
it.
have got a really exciting future. You know, I absolutely loved seeing the Margaret and Shikadze match.
Yeah,
That was ace.
yeah,
I loved the super heavyweight match with Camille and
yeah,
Tobias.
yeah. That was so back and forth, man. It was like who's gonna hit that? Who's gonna hit that silver bullet move that
Oh,
who's getting there first? Like the
that was
chess
intense,
and the
wasn't it?
setups and the
Oh,
starts and the false starts and like
yeah.
man, razor's edge.
And you overshadow guys like Bet Killy who looked just like a complete slayer. But
He
there's
was the most.
something about the match
He was the most impressive to me. I
over the
thought,
night.
yeah,
Yeah.
the most impressive performance that I didn't have a real good gauge on that match, but I did think that he might be in trouble. And the way he just his setup like
Mhm.
was different from something that like from anything I've seen before. And the way he executed it, to me, it was super impressive.
Yeah, he was mega. I mean,
Mhm.
he's very almost clinical cold arm wrestler, isn't he?
Yep.
Just gets it done.
Yep.
But he looked a mile away. And considering that's Talgat, who's
Hmm.
people in the chat may not know, but Talgat is an absolute monster.
He
And he just
shut
got dead.
down every ounce of initiation and speed. His setup, little side pressure, static load, looked like it was super effective. He bullied the center of the table. Um, so that started it off well for me.
Yeah.
Those first couple matches were great. Those first couple matches, like
Great
especially
in
in
it when you get an opener. If the opening match of the night has got tempo and it
Mhm.
just gets the place, injects the venom, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you get that really good opening match, it's kind
Mhm.
of people always if they're their first match on, they can be on a bit of a downer. They think, I'm super low on the card, but it's actually a big responsibility
I love it. Yeah, I would love to be the first match. That'd be
because
great.
you've got the job of getting the place banging, getting the place rocking. If it's a killer match, it sets the whole tone for the night.
Yeah.
It really sets the whole tone. It's like if you're listening to a music album, you need that first song to be an absolute rabid track. It's got to be a good one. Otherwise, you're like, nah, not
Yeah.
bothered. So that first one. So where are you on the card over in Dubai, mate? What number? Do you know?
I think second or third, maybe second or third. I think it's only like 8 matches, so we'll
Is
be
eight
right there.
over there.
Yeah,
When do you get in?
I don't know. We haven't booked flights yet. I'm still waiting for the communications on that. So that's
Okay.
up in the air. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there pretty lastminute.com, but I'm looking forward to it. Looking
Well, yeah.
forward.
Yeah. I mean, I don't need to be there super early. I mean, I'd actually love to get there a little bit later than I normally do with East versus West because I don't have any weight to cut. So I don't require all that extra.
Where do you think your weight will actually be?
I'm hoping I'm shooting for like 103, 104. I don't think 105 is going to happen,
Mhm.
but I'm going to keep pushing. I'm not eating dirty food. Like I can't bring myself to just eat dirty, like in the middle of the summer, knowing when I also have to go back to 95 for all this. So
Yeah.
like I have to be careful. I don't want to push bad weight. So I'm not just stuffing my face with carbs. I'm trying to eat clean carbs. So my body's adjusting. I feel good. I think the addition of like a more balanced diet makes me feel better, but I just haven't packed the weight on as quickly as
Well, the condition of you over in when we were in Turkey the other week was ridiculous, mate. You looked at the amount of people that commented on that. It was silly. Everywhere you went, people are like, look at the fucking size of that. You look ridiculous.
Well,
Absolutely ridiculous.
hopefully it translates. We needed to translate. I'm just happy about feeling healthy because my elbow was not in a great way after the Arachley match.
No.
And I got the PRP and the stem cells, and I took those 5 weeks off, and after that, and knock on wood, I'm fit. My elbow is
How
good.
many stem cells have you had now, Paul?
Oh man, probably 10 injections. Probably about 10.
Okay.
Yeah, not as much as like some of these other guys, like Michael, obviously, or nowhere near Devon. But usually when I go, I usually get 3 or 4. So yeah, it's been super majorly beneficial to my shoulder, like majorly. So I'm to the point now where
did you see the other night Robbie Carstendike match that we put out against
I
Frodo?
didn't watch it yet. I got the thing, and I was like, I know I need to put aside probably like 20, 30 minutes for that, right?
Tell you what,
how long is it? Because
just check that out. If anybody in the chat, if you haven't seen that yet, we put it out the other night. Go check that out. Have a look.
I saw it pop up. I haven't looked at it yet.
The son of the owner of Vitacell, Robbie Carstendike, his boy, competing against relentless Frodo Hoagland in Arm Wars Vegas. What a match. Typical Frodo Hoagland match. Go watch that. Check that out. What a pull. I'll tell you what, absolute cracking match. And it's out there now. You can see it free. Big one. Hey, we got Knuckles Up coming as well, haven't we? Like this week, I believe. This next weekend.
Yeah. There's some good ones on there, man.
What's your favorite one on there?
Man, I was
best
so that Knuckles Up is what so all right. That is where Jerome Loud is that where Jerome is pulling RVJ, right?
I thought that was at the East versus West qualifier, but I may be wrong.
Oh no, you're right. Okay, so what else is on that card?
The one I'm really invested in, obviously, is Tom Holland match, and he's pulling the same guy that Ryan did the last time out there.
Yeah. What else is on that? I just looked at the card and I'm drawing a blank because I'm getting.
Camille's got a right-hander out there.
Okay.
That's it. In fact, let's call. Obviously, you got Jason Merlo.
Yeah.
You can just call the card up.
Yeah. I need to look at it. I literally just saw the flyer like yesterday.
So let me try and find it here. But I think I want to say it's Saturday.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure.
I know Uncle John's pulling my boy Roger Bailey.
So obviously, Merlo is on there. That's and Jason, I think, is like their signature arm wrestler.
For sure.
I think
we talked about it. Jason don't like to travel. So, I mean, he's pretty blessed to have those guys there with that promotion for sure, that they can highlight them because it's in his backyard. And it's doing a great job of getting Jason really out there and letting people understand his level. And that last match with Tom Holland was nothing short of spectacular.
Yeah, I actually thought Tom was bloody unlucky in that match, mate. I really, really did. I felt like,
well, you can make a case for that for sure.
Yeah, and Jason's got a tough one here because
I did not think Jason was going to have as much trouble with Tom as he did. So that helped me understand Tom's level much better.
Yeah,
because,
Tom's
we don't have the common opponents anymore with no WAL, so it's hard to tell. And I go off of what you guys say over there, but it's just hard to say until you see. And I know how good Jason is. I thought
Jason's ace.
Control the match. I thought he was going to control it.
Jason's a great arm wrestler, brilliant top roller, great dude as well. Excellent guy. Very, very dangerous. Very underrated arm wrestler, actually. Very underrated. For those guys that I don't think gets the love that he should. I don't think he gets the respect that he deserves. He's a very, very good arm wrestler. And he's got another extremely tough one here because Mario, let me tell you, no joke.
Yeah. Yep. Is that left hand? Is that left hand or right hand? That's right.
I believe it's right-handed.
Okay.
I thought it was a right-hander. And I think it's right hand for Camille and Aslanov as well. Because Camille's usually a left-hand specialist. But I think he and Aslanov are going right-handed.
Yeah.
Dulskus is on there also.
Mhm.
He's got BJ Karkas.
That's gonna be interesting.
I've got, I mean, I've got Mindigus.
Yeah, and you're probably right. He's probably the favorite. So
Mindigus is exactly
BJ's one
like
of those
Jason.
guys. BJ's
Strong.
one of them guys who doesn't really train. Like he practices and stuff, but like when he gets going and gets in the gym, he's another one. He's a huge, monstrous dude with a big, strong hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see what condition he brings to the
Who else is
table.
on there? Isn't Wayne Withers on there, or did I make that up?
I don't know.
I thought Wayne Withers was on there. Let me see if I can find it. I need to try and find a
I'm
card.
putting it in the chat now, but I don't see Wayne.
I thought Wayne Withers was on there as well. I can't find the goddamn thing. But yeah, I've got Dulskus picked. People may say that's biased, but he's
Now, I think if you're being objective based off of his recent successes against different people he's had, you can't. You have to pick, you know. But I'm rooting for BJ, to have a really good showing for sure. And he's one of those guys that could turn up in great form.
who's BJ's biggest win to date, do you think? Who's his biggest victory?
It's a great question.
I'm back. I know he's had some impressive wins. I'm trying to think.
He beat me. I'm not his biggest win, I'm sure, but I'm trying to.
Yeah, but with all due respect to there's a size thing there to some extent. I mean, he's just a very big boy, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he wore my hand down toward the end. I had to pull it out my hand and I fouled. But yeah, he was very, very game. Who else did he? Wayne. Oh, there it is. It's Wayne Withers versus Mega Mike.
Okay, yeah. I thought Withers was on there. Megabytes on there. I didn't know that. So yeah, that's an interesting match.
Yeah.
That's a good match right there.
Yeah.
Who have you got there?
I think Wayne's gonna be so I think Mega Mike side pressure hook, it's not even close. But it's about getting Wayne to that spot. You know what I mean? And I don't think there's a lot of people that can clean hook Wayne. He's very hard to hook. We saw Hutchings kind of go through him with his signature side pressure. You know what I mean? Like not needing his hand too much.
Yeah.
And there's just not a lot of people that can emulate Hutchings' style. I would give Wayne a slight edge, but Mike seems to be improving so much. Derek speaks so highly about him. I see the numbers he's doing in the gym. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it should be good. And then the last one I mentioned earlier is Roger Bailey versus Uncle John.
Okay, yeah.
That's interesting. That's my PA guy there.
And that is a right arm match, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
So John is touchable on the right arm. On left arm, I would have had John all day.
Yeah, Roger's coming off that arm break left arm too. So his left hand.
I'm still got John. I think I've still.
Yeah. It would be interesting if John can keep him flat and stop him from turning that match in. Then it's going to get weird. But I think if Roger turns it at all, he's gonna be the favorite.
John's one of those guys that if he learns to just hold his pronator, not use just all back, use a little bit more side on that first couple of inches, he'd be much more dangerous. Don't load and then just explode because he's got such a big hand.
Yeah,
very, very big hand, and if he trusts in the momentum, I think he can do very well there. But we'll see. I'm not overly familiar with the level of Roger, just what I've seen on video, and that can be very deceptive.
Yeah, well, he's another one that has got some very good wins over his career over guys that I'm like, whoa, how did you pull that one off? He's done it a bunch of times where I'm like, whoa, like almost to that same like. I feel like the guy that's doing that the most right now is Brad Grundy. He pulls these wins out, and I'm like, holy crap, you know what I mean? And it's gotten to the point now where I don't question these guys, even if I think they're the dogs. I'm like, yeah, they got a chance, They always got a chance.
Brad Grundy's one of my favorite arm wrestlers in the world. I freaking love that kid.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome.
Iron dick. Yeah. And the other thing about him is he is natural. I am sure that kid is natural, and I think he's great. I think he's an athlete. I think he's one of those kids that's a little bit chubby, and you look at him and you think, nah, but he's an athlete.
He's like a cross between like when you go out to Iowa and you got this farm boy, and you're like, oh, he's going to be a lineman, but he's athletic too. You know what I
Mate,
mean? It's like farm strength mixed with like coordination and
yeah.
athleticism.
And
Yep.
I think he's very articulate on the table. I think he does some. I think he moves really fluidly.
Mhm.
I think once he's got his eye in, I think he's really, really good. And he's been
Yep.
so impressive, very explosive. I rate him highly.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan. I think he's fantastic. Very,
Definitely.
very solid arm wrestler. The
I
other
like
guy that I think's been
I like his
impressive is last
personality
week,
too.
Shark.
Who's that?
Shark. He beat the other. He tucked
Yeah.
in Jerome.
Yeah, and that was whoa. Like he did it. It was definitely contested, but Andre was never in trouble. Either side
Mhm.
of the buckle. I mean, they pulled 3 times. You know, he beat him, sent him B side, and then the finals were best of 3. And it
It
like
was almost like he was a little surprised at himself on the first one.
100%. He
But
had to
once
be.
he settled down,
Yeah.
it looked pretty easy.
Well, it's interesting too because the lane that he took against Jerome is not the path of least resistance
Hmm.
for that style of puller. He fought him where he's good, you know,
But I
and I
always
think
feel like, and this is not a slight at Jerome because Jerome's a lovely dude, but I actually feel like Jerome gives away a lot on setups and stuff. I
he
feel like
does.
he's the fairest guy in the game. He's like
Well, he
John
took.
Brzenk. He
I
just
told him
there's nothing.
I grabbed them. I grabbed them after they finished the regular bracket, and I said to him, I said, "Okay, you had the bad side. When you go up for this best of 3, go to the good side. If he gets there first, say, hey, you had the good side last time,
Mm,
or say, flip a coin." And he did not do that.
no.
He took the bad side, the majority of the time. I'm like, and then he was, like you said, very passive in the setup, you know?
Incredibly fair individual. When I
Yeah.
used to watch him at the WA, and I'll be watching, I'd stand table side, see his grip was super shallow. He was
Yeah.
not contesting anything. Just, I think that guy's got frighteningly for a lot of people. I think there's a lot of headroom there. I
Oh,
think,
my goodness.
I think
Yeah. Not
he
even
could go.
close. He can be as good as he wants to be.
Yeah.
You know, he has so many tools. His hand, like it's like he has an extra knuckle joint.
Hmm.
Like it's that big and it's that strong. It's solid too, And then he's got good bone structure and everything to go along with. You know, he's one of those guys that the sky's the limit, especially if he really diversified and worked on some counter moves and some different things rather than just being able to cup and pronate everybody.
Yeah. It's almost like he's so confident in his
Yeah.
own power
Yeah.
that he doesn't really attempt to take a lot. He just allows you to initiate, soaks it, and smacks you. And a lot
Man,
of the time, he does do it as well.
I look at those guys with those hands like that can wrap their hand the whole way around your hand. They're touching the other thing. Fingers are coming together on the other side. They're touching their own wrist. I mean, why don't you pull in a hook?
Mm.
Nobody is getting out. You are hooking everybody. You know what I mean? Like to me, like yeah, like if I had that, I'm just going to hook all the time. But
Mate, it's surprising the tools you're working with.
yeah,
Sometimes it breeds how you face into the match. It
yeah,
really, really shapes the direction you take into a stiff wind. If you're used to always having a fight for everything because you don't have a great deal of
mhm,
weapons in your arsenal, you become smarter in certain areas. And a lot of the lads that have got every physical advantage known to man don't necessarily utilize them. And can you imagine if cadets you like arm wrestle elusively? If Alex was like just elusive as hell and pulling on the back foot and
yeah,
because he's so explosive, mate, who the
yeah.
would want that match?
Yeah.
Who
It's
would
it's
want that
it's it's the curse of talent though, and physical gifts. We talk
Yeah.
about it in every sport, man. When things come easy, you don't have to balance yourself out because you can
Mm.
impose your will on everybody. But it never ceases to happen that you find that ceiling and then you have to adapt. And I always talk about Dave Chafee, love the guy, but I feel like that's one of the things that he could have done well from early on is just
Yeah.
not being so freakishly strong. When you're so freakishly strong that you can just do whatever you want,
Yeah.
it makes it hard to learn.
It really does. I mean, spoiler alert, guys. If you don't want to know who won World's Strongest Man, I'm about to say it in like 10 seconds. So turn off right now because I'm about to do it any second now. But while we're talking about guys that are gifted, the Albatross, the Invergordon Goliath from Scotland tonight, 3 times now, world's strongest man. For anybody who's been following the event, and that is a guy. Every time we do an arena show and I interview Tom, I mean, I'm not a big man, but I'm 6'1" and I'm over 100 kilos. I'm not small, and I feel like a child standing next to my dad. You just, and it's not just the height. It's the mass of the man. He is an absolute. I mean, you think Alex Kadech's big.
That's crazy.
Tom's different world.
Enormous.
He's just made to move big stuff, you know. And what can I tell you? That guy shows up and he's ready. Everybody's in trouble. And he's just dominated again at the world's strongest. Didn't put a foot wrong. 2 days of competition, just absolute animal. Congratulations, Tommy. Congratulations, Luke. What a year you lads have had. Looking forward to meeting you very soon, guys. And yeah, congratulations. Safe journey home, and I'll be seeing you both very soon. Incredible performance, and congrats, Tom. 3 times. That's nobody from the UK has ever had 3 world championship titles. Amazing, amazing, and what a career ride there on. In other news, Eddie Hall, who's out at Myrtle Beach watching World's Strongest Man right now. I see a mate of mine, Sam Career, sends me a message. He says, "What's all this about?" And it's a poster. And on the poster, it shows Eddie Hall has just signed to fight 2 men.
Oh my goodness!
You know that fight thing where you one guy against 2, and Eddie's signed to do it.
Oh my god!
And it's in my hometown. He's fighting 2 dudes, MMA fight.
Okay. MMA?
Yeah. So, yeah. He's going to fight 2 guys
at the same time.
Yes.
So, if any takedown happens at all, he's getting kicked in the head.
I don't know whether he can kick him on the go. I don't think he can kick a downed opponent. It's like UFC, but you know, fighting 2 dudes at once.
I really hope he's getting a huge payday for that.
So I'm a big fan of. You ever come across Nick Savage? The guy that's on Facebook. He's a Yorkshire lad, long red hair, and I'm a massive fan of this guy, right? And I watch some of his stuff, and he does reaction videos, and he's always reacting to these freak fights where you've got like 1 guy against 2, and Eddie's going to be doing the same thing. So it's 2 lads versus Eddie Hall. So I send a message to Ed. I get the phone. I'm like, what the fuck? So I message Ed. I forget that he's over in Myrtle Beach, and I message him. I'm like, Ed, what the are you doing? Is this true? Like, and he's like, oh yeah. You coming to watch? What a nutter!
Yeah,
what absolute nutter. Wow. So I'm going to be going to the TT races in the Isle of Man, so I'm away when the fight happens. But mate,
you're not even get to go.
I'm not even going to get to go, and it's in my hometown, and I can't see it. I'm over watching the bike racing, so yeah, it's going to be unbelievable. But he's Eddie's some hombre, mate. Let me tell you. And he's another guy that I'll be doing a bit of arm wrestling training with this year, hopefully. So
I love it, man. That's why I said I think your content is going to explode. I think people are going to mega gravitate towards this, and I don't even think you're going to have to put like editing effort into it. I think just little clips and like real life, like, hey, I'm walking into practice, and give somebody else the camera, almost like Devon style.
Let me know in the chat, guys, if you maybe Paul's onto something here. Let me know in the chat if you want to see me try and do that, and I will film every step. What I'll probably do is I might start a members thing on here on Supernatural Strength in the next couple of weeks. Next few weeks might do that. We'll do a super cheap 1-hit membership on here, and if people want to train with me, we'll do it. We'll do a bit. I'll start doing as much as I can possibly do, as much as the wrist will allow me to do, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But
how's your wrist feeling?
Let me know.
How's your wrist feeling? Do you got stem cells?
Yeah, not good. I need more stem cells. But listen, when I went over there and you know, I spoke to Rob and Mark and the team over there, and when I said the extent of the damage, they were like, "Oh, that's going to take a lot of treatments. You're going to be, it's going to be over a year of treatments." And I kind of knew that was the case, if I'm honest. You know, I knew because I've no cartilage in there. So a lot of
Yeah.
nerve damage in the wrist. So it's really, really.
You're
But
gonna need time to regenerate some of that cartilage if it can be done.
yes,
It'll need more of it.
it's going to take a long period of time. But if it can be done, I will give it a shot. White Wolf, no, mate, you don't have to pay for anything, brother. You just don't worry about it. And yeah, if people are interested in it, let me know. If you're not, let me know.
People are always interested in the journey. And it's to what's cool about it is, and Ryan Bowen said it a long time ago, like the documenting of your journey. And like some of I inadvertently wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't trying to be a YouTube guy. I was just throwing stuff on there so I would have it. Like, oh, I went to this tournament and I videotaped my matches. Let me just upload it here so I have it, and it's not
Yeah.
taking space on my phone. And it became kind of a thing. You know what I mean? And Ryan did it to the nth degree. He's documented everything that he has almost to the
He's done
point.
really well.
But like even if you did like a playlist on YouTube, which everything that was your comeback fell into that playlist and they all got put there in chronological order, I think that'd be really cool. And if somebody gets behind, they can just pick up chronologically where they left off.
It'd be nice if there was other people in a similar situation. If those guys wanted to get involved at the same time and just
Yeah.
see how far we can take it collectively.
Yeah.
I don't
Share
mind
the
helping some of the guys out. When we were over at East versus West, there were a number of the lads who'd come over to watch that. I mean, the amount of German kids that were over there,
Oh yeah. Yep.
ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And obviously Alex, who you saw with us over there, who's great. Lion Pride killing it. If you're not subscribed to Lion Pride Arm Wrestling, get over there. Some of his crew were over there, absolutely lapping it up. They're at the right age, young men just coming into the game, and they're hungry to succeed. And I really enjoy watching the guys that are pushing that hard, that are trying to get there. And if I can assist those guys, I will. And as I say, a lot of lads in the UK that I'd like to really help out the guys that are they're getting after it. So try and get out and see some of the UK teams as well, and see where I can get to. But exciting times this year, guys. Remember, nature of the show tonight as well. Big thing. I'm going to be auctioning off these. $20 super chat will get you entered into this thing. You can get the deep water shirt for No Limit. Let me see if I can get that in camera. There we go. No Limit's Devon Larratt's actual deep water sea shirt. John the Perfect Storm Brzenk, still in the wrappers. Never been out of the wrappers. Been in a box in the freak shop.
And
But they're going to be
proceeds are going to a young lady, right?
Yeah, going to a girl who is trying to get herself to Canada to defend her world title, the world title that she won last year, and she's not able at the moment to go over and defend that, which is an absolute travesty.
Some type of equestrian event.
Yes, yeah, it's called the Mounted Games. So she rides in Mounted Games, and basically it's nearest thing to like in the rodeo where you see the barrel racers. You imagine like that kind of thing, but if there's like 5 to 8 of them start at once and they just tear up a track, pick up stuff on and off the horse, and yeah, pretty high octane stuff. And she's one of the best in the world at her age. Right now, the world champion wants to go over there and defend that world title. At the moment, single parent family can't afford to do it. Hopefully, we can raise enough money to try and get her on her way, which would be great. That would be a worthwhile thing for these shirts to be able to help the kid out. I know you got to head off here, Paul, so I don't want to keep you on too long because I know you're too polite to.
My kid's peeked in this door about 3 times now. He's already go.
Listen, you get back to your family, and thank you for your time as always, pal. Really appreciate the chat. Always good to catch up with you, mate. And to everybody who's joined tonight, who's watched, thank you very much. Make sure you go over, subscribe to Lethal Arms. Paul Lynn, absolute legend of an arm wrestler, one of the best from North America, one of the best in the world at his weight. And he's going into a match very, very soon. King of the Table, 1st of June. If you're not already, pay-per-view is not already lined up for you, get it sorted out. It's a good card, really deep. 8 superb matches on there. The headliner, Hermes, the Gladiator Gasparini, against Dennis Seplenkov. But it's all about the match with her guy, the White Hawk, Lachlan Adair. They will be going earlier in the evening, and we cannot wait to see these guys go at it. It's going to be a hell of a match. To everybody who's taken the time to tune into the channel tonight, thank you very much. All the best to you and your families. As I say, massive, massive things coming from this summer for myself, the Supernatural Strength channel, and Arm Wars. We got a huge amount of stuff coming. And Iron House 4 is coming very, very soon for Arm Wars channel members. So thank you to everybody who subscribes and who is a channel member. You've got a big event coming with some top class arm wrestlers in there. Paul, thanks for your time as always, mate. Really appreciate it, buddy.
Take care, fellas. Stay blessed. Talk to y'all soon.
Take it easy, guys. Biggity bong.